자동차가 같이 있는 게 또 해석상으로도 맞기 때문에 일종의 지금 우리가 하고 있는 게 어떤 뭐 대통령의 위해를 가하거나 뭐 이런 게 아니라
I cannot help but feel indignant and wonder if we are properly defending freedom and truth. In the Republic of Korea, which is a free and democratic republic of a country, no matter how corrupt the politics are, and the enemies who want to take over the country, the communists and some leftists. But we cannot stand by and watch the communist invasion of Korea, which such people have been preparing for decades and is now in the process of completion. Collect and analyze all the information that contains all of these situations. The president recognized the situation and decided to throw himself into the country for the people and to set the country straight. They went so far as to imprison the loyal president. And I don't know if I should call you the judge who authorized the issuance of the warrant. So I'm interested in it, and recently the Constitution of our country, the Constitution of the Sixth Republic. I study the articles of the Constitution, individual laws, and laws that are the promises to ensure the existence of the state and achieve fair justice among the people. I also listen to lectures by high-ranking legal scholars and professors who have a lot of experience in law, and I also look at various precedents. The fact that this decision was made means that the judiciary in the Republic of Korea is going wrong. What is it? It was a forsabering of liberty, truth, law, and conscience. The definition of the law would be to apply a fair standard to everyone, regardless of their political stance, political opinions, identities, or ideological positions. And the judge's decision now decided to execute the warrant to arrest the president. This raises serious concerns about the Constitutional Court's upcoming ruling on the impeachment prosecution of the president. So I make up my mind. This is truly an emergency. My life, not very long, but also not very young. Perhaps it is one of the older generation who should be responsible for this situation. But I don't have much more knowledge, but I was educated as a citizen, and I went to the army to fulfill my duty to defend the country, and I also served in the reserves, and I completed civil defense. The first time in my life, not this second martial law. Was it 5.17 at the time? It was during the Chun Du-hwan regime. It wasn't much at the time. We lived in the provinces, and there was no change in our lives. But now it's very different. President Yoon Suk-yeol's martial law has a greater impact than the martial law of that time, so it's not a scary martial law, but some of these things that happen after that, and I feel like it's the same for other people. Based on my experience and the knowledge I've learned, and the judgments that I think now, I think it's time for our country, and for our generation, in fact, for the first time in history, maybe it's time for us to pay the price that we haven't paid for a long time. I think that's probably the reason why the president made up his mind. What we didn't know was that our clothes were so soaked. When your clothes get wet in the drizzle, you don't feel like you're getting wet. Even if your clothes get wet in a shower, they dry quickly when the sun is shining. But now, intoxicated by decades of democracy, not only have we been soaked by the drizzle of their communist revolution, which we didn't know about, but our clothes are falling apart and our current flesh is burning. We are saying that we have achieved democratization, but the so-called democratizing forces are making a fuss about it this time. They weren't really for democratization. In any case, in the last words, it is a situation where traitorous gangs are on a rampage. It's almost speculative that a president is arrested, that a sitting president is arrested. I'm very happy to see young people in particular protesting against impeachment these days. And I'm happy, and I think there's a future for the country, but there's still a ray of light. Now we will have our voices, and the voices of our hearts will all come together to become the voice of the people and the voice of the Republic of Korea. We must defeat them and bring about a real people's revolution. I think that is a calling given to us in our time. The flag was raised by President Yoon, and we are only now aware of it. This is not the kind of thing where the right argues or fights with the left. It is the people who are fighting their enemies to protect their country. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take to the streets together. We must not use violence, but let us set the country right with our bodies, with our eyes, with our hands, with our open mouths, and with our fervent voices. Either drive out those traitorous factions, the anti-state forces, dissolve the National Assembly, or drive them all out and distort the law, the judges, and some partisans who sympathize? It's almost a confession from the Reds. Let's drive out the patriotic forces. This war is just beginning. A free Republic of Korea will win, and we, the people of the Republic of Korea, will rise above it. We can even bleed. But I'm okay with that, and I'm willing to serve my life for my country, for freedom. Let's do it together.